How can I make a difference for you? As the speaker, as the audience, what can I say that will motivate you, inspire you, and have you, as Jim said, want to come back here and do another speech for us? What can I say? Delivering an effective evaluation takes care. And just as Jim said, just as Jamie said, we really need to put some care into this, preparation and thinking about what a speaker really wants to hear. So there's several keys that I want you to focus on whenever you're evaluating. Begin with a positive statement. Now, where could that be a bad thing? Anywhere in life, it could not be bad to begin with a positive statement. So definitely do that. Avoid judgments. If you have some kind of judgment, some kind of bias, really avoid that and be as open-minded as you can. Match your words to your body language. I'm going to expand a little bit on what Jim said. When I evaluate, maybe I put a little more enthusiasm into my evaluations than most people do. It's my personality. But I really try to put my words and my body language together. So if I'm telling Tim that I really think his speech would be better if he would add some enthusiasm, it would really help if I would add some enthusiasm to my evaluation. You may not want to get quite over the top. If Jamie did that, it's scary. But when I do it, people think it's normal, I think. Really, make your body language match what you're saying. Even in your speeches, it should be the same thing. But definitely think about what you're saying and how you're saying it, how that's coming across. Build rapport. Now, if you really want to build rapport, the first thing I said, to begin with a positive statement, is a great start. There's something else that you can do to build rapport. And that would be to give examples, real-life examples, ways that you have felt that are similar to that speaker. If you notice that a speaker has a challenge that you can just tell is bothering them, or they talked to you about it before, in your evaluation, if you explain to them that you had that same challenge, it really adds a lot of rapport, and it helps you get your point across without hurting someone's feelings. It's the truth, like Jim said, but it's not washed down. It's not whitewashed. It's the truth, and it's also the truth for you. And sometimes we can identify with other people a whole lot better on their qualities that need improvement than we can on the things that they do well. So definitely look for that and make sure that you're putting some nurturing into that. Self-esteem. Well, who would want someone to come in here and tear them all to pieces about all the things that they did wrong about their speech? I wouldn't want to come back. So nurture their self-esteem. Make sure that whenever you tell them something that they did well, begin with a positive statement, that any kind of recommendation you give, you're also giving them something that builds their self-esteem. So finish it up with that. I'll go into that a little bit more here in just a moment. Your evaluation is a speech. Table topic speeches are speech. Speeches are speeches. Basically, anytime you're talking to someone, whether it's one-on-one, in Toastmasters, at work, you really need to think about what you're saying. If you can be concise, give them an introduction, a body, and a conclusion, you'll really have people understand what you're saying and it'll keep you from rambling. My husband accuses me of rambling. I know that most of you that know me would never agree with that. Oh, they laugh. Okay, so maybe I do ramble. Your body is the essence of what you really want to say. Your body is your commendations and your recommendations. Make sure that you are being honest in an authentic way. And I believe that we can say some things that are really difficult for someone to hear, or maybe would have been difficult for us to hear, if we say them in a way where we use an example and we really express that we're concerned, we care about you, I want to make sure that you get to the next level in your speaking skills, we're able to really express ourselves. That's where you provide examples. And Jamie says this, and I am probably the most guilty of anyone. Jamie says self-deprecating humor is always effective. And I realized about the 5th or 6th time that she said that I was using humor in making fun of other people. And here I could have been making fun of myself all along, and I would have had a whole lot more fun because I know a lot of things about myself that I can make fun of. So definitely think about things about yourself that are self-deprecating, and try to keep from making fun of other people. If you talk about other people, do that in a positive way. And your conclusion, of course, is a wrap-up of everything that you've said. Summarize your evaluation. Close with an inspiring, motivational remark. And I'm sure all of you can find something inspiring and motivational about every single speech that you've ever heard. So the next thing I want to do is go into some common methods of delivering your speech. You've created your introduction. You've had some kind of opening statement, and you've told your audience, your speaker, what you're going to tell them. You know, your introduction is pretty simple. It doesn't have to take that long. Now you're going into the body. You can use the 3-2-1 method, which I've heard a lot in this club, the sandwich method, which I've heard a lot pretty much in general. There's a lot of clubs that kind of keep with that. And CRC is probably a combination of the two. They're essentially all the same. Start with a positive, give a recommendation, and end on a positive note, something motivational and inspiring. 3-2-1. 3 positive statements, 2 recommendations or or areas of improvement, and 1 positive statement. The positive statement at the end may be a little bit more like, that was a great speech, I can't wait to hear more. But your first 3 positive statements probably would be something that you really want to make sure that speaker keeps in their speeches for next time. Sandwich, positive remark. Something that they did well, make a recommendation for improvement, and conclude with another positive statement. CRC. 1 or 2 positive commendations, 1 recommendation, and then a final commendation. Do you see a pattern here? For every recommendation, every time you have an opinion of a speech or something that a speaker can do to improve, every time you have 1, make sure you have 2 at least of 2 positive statements. So whenever you're doing that plus minus thing on that sheet of paper like Jamie does, or whatever you happen to be doing, make sure you have more pluses than you have minuses. And if you only found 1 minus, then you may be careful on saying a whole lot of other positives, because it'll look like you're washing that out. So try to come up with a few things that really can be helpful. And if you have a lot of things on the minus thing, just scratch a whole bunch out. The components of a commendation. It's pretty simple. You state the area of praise. What is it that you want your speaker, your audience, to remember? What is it that you want them to keep? The area of praise. And why is it praiseworthy? Really, I mean, what is it about Jamie's grace and posture that is so powerful? What is it about it? I don't know. I think that Jamie has a way of standing in front of us and making us all really feel like, wow, I can do that. And I love that. So it's definitely something that's praiseworthy, and that's explaining what it is. Whenever you have something to recommend, state what the area of improvement is, explain why it's effective for you, and provide specific details of how it can be improved. I'm going to give you an example of this in just a moment. It will be my bonus. When we're up here as evaluators, we are giving ourselves back. We're not speaking about something we really studied or something that we enjoy talking about. We're really giving back. We're giving something to the audience. We're giving something to the speaker that they can use. We're being givers. How can we make a difference for you? Well, here's your bonus. This is what you get back as the giver that you are. How many times, men, have your wives said, "Did these pants make my rear end look big?" And you say, "Oh, man, how do you answer that?" That is not a yes or no question. You begin with a commendation, a positive remark. "Darling, anything looks good on you. But these pants happen to make her butt look fat." So here's the second thing. Those green ones that you wear all the time, they're just perfectly flattering on you. They're so much better than those. That's your area of recommendation. So here's your final commendation or positive remark. But you know what, honey? It doesn't matter what you wear, because you are beautiful inside and out. And that, my friends, is your answer to all of your evaluation questions. Leave with an inspiring, and that won't work for you, by the way, Mark, because I just told you. Be the inspiration that you want to express to your speakers and motivate others. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hicks.